my friend, do you have troubles? Is your website just a white screen? Are your forms not working? Do you need some help? Oh yeah. Oh, you need a plugin, maybe a dev. We're solving all your WordPress blues on WP Blast. Woo!
That's right, folks. When you hear the song, we're about starting up here, talking about some WordPress, answering some WordPress questions, going through all of those things. Bridget, how's it going?
It's going great.
Is it weird to hear your own song playing, especially your own song playing every single week?
It's a little weird, like to just not
You're like, I can't tweak this. I can't change
do
that.
anything. Yeah, I'm like, and then you start reevaluating. Maybe that wasn't that good. I don't know. Maybe I would.
I think any recording artist type would have that same problem where you're just like, why did I? Same with like coders. Coders have the exact same problem. Somebody will call you up and say, hey, I saw your name in the top of this code. It says to contact you. And I'm like, actually, I don't know why I put my name in there. I shouldn't have done that. And then you read the code and you're like, oh my gosh, what was Jason of 5 years ago thinking? Are you kidding me?
Go on the Wayback Machine.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So Bridget, you just got back from San Diego. Drive was good. Things went well. Good.
I am so lucky. I just was driving home. I was talking to my mom, and so I called my mom because I'm a good daughter, and I was just saying like how neat it is that your boss texts you and says, I can't wait to see you in the office, not when you're coming in, and it's so neat to just brainstorm with everybody and nobody's like, you're so dumb. How come you don't know this? It's just all like this really fun learning experience. And they say thank you when you leave. So like important to me. They're like, thanks for coming to work, Bridget. I'm like, I'll see you on Slack.
So you're making me feel like I should have called like Child Protective Services or something at your previous gig. It's just feeling a little weird there.
Yeah, that's what Heather said. Actually, here she is. She said she's just going to pick me up, take me to a battered women's. I mean, I joked about it, but
no, but it's totally
it's such a different culture.
That's awesome.
It's just amazing. I'm doing so many things I've never done before. And the perfectionist in me just wants to start crying like a girl. But they're just great. I mean, Devin, Jason, and Matt are amazing. I can't believe I get to work there. I just can't believe it. And I actually finally wrote my hashtag I love WP post yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, because Matt was like, you need to write this. This I love WordPress story is you. And it is. I mean, because where else can you be a secretary and then all of a sudden be a marketing manager except WordPress and the whole community that's so generous. And I mean, it's 1,800 words or whatever on my blog, bridgetwiller.com. But because there's so much backstory, I don't have a degree in marketing or anything like that. It's just that I think the culture of WordPress encourages you to be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to WordCamp to get a job in WordPress. I just going to meet my friend Pam, and I feel more at ease. Heather is the one who posted my blog posted to the Advanced WordPress Meetup group. And
Nice.
That's how Matt Cromwell found me in the first place, to start doing the normal people, awesome plugins, or great plugins or whatever it's called. Anyway, so I mean, it was really hard to like, I wrote it in sections because I was like, well, how introspective do I want to be? how much of a loser do I want to say I was? You know, I mean, the truth is that like it's a scary thing in your 40s when you're the sole provider for your family to leave a stable job, no matter what the conditions, to go work for a tech startup. That is insane.
Right.
And the bottom line is, like 2 weeks into it, I noticed I didn't wake up with my fist clenched and my jaw wasn't because I even though everything I do is very difficult, you know, at first it's a huge onboarding learning curve, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to start saying advanced custom fields like it's just nothing or something.
But someday you will.
But it's just amazing because I realized, wow, I'm happy for the first time in my life. I'm happy, and it's because of WordPress. That's the short version of the 1,800 words. Yeah, and so it was just neat when I was driving home. I go, wow, I don't care that it was 2 hours. I'm happy. You know, I don't have to do this every day. It's just, it's just
right.
Amazing. I don't know what to say. I'm lucky. I lucked out.
Yep.
Yeah, and I get to be on Blab with Jason Tucker.
I think you did.
From Wpwatercooler.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Pinch me.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So what do you do over there? Let's talk about that real quick. Since we got some people, you know, watching, we might as well at least tell people.
My official title is marketing manager for WordPress. WordPress is the plugin developer. We have a lot of API-driven plugins, including Maps Builder Pro, Yelp Widgets Pro, and other fabulous plugins. But we really kind of carved out a space with Give, which allows you to accept donations online. And this, in January 19th, we came out with recurring donations. So we're making it easy for nonprofits to raise funds on a WordPress-powered website and for crowdfunding. So it's pretty exciting.
Nice.
I get to, we're collecting Give stories where people submit how they're using Give and how it's changing their fundraising. And it's just amazing to read what people are doing to help the world, you know, whether it's one person who needs a van so that he can drive it with a handicapped person, or if it's somebody who wants to raise funds for their bowling, for their it's called curling, you know. Yeah, I just found we just found somebody, and they submitted a Give story that I have to write. So they submit the information, then I write it. There's a curling club in Bowling Green, Ohio, I think, and they use Give to raise funds for their own skating rink because there's an incompatibility with ice hockey and curling because ice has to be super smooth, and so they want their own place. So they used our plugin. I mean, it's just amazing the range of stories, you know. So, and I do writing. I recruit guest bloggers. Russell Aaron is one of our guest bloggers now. And
nice.
Yeah, and then we do some agency work. So we have some clients. I do some content marketing, and I'm learning SEO things. And like one of the posts I wrote for a client was about IPv4 addresses. Yeah.
Oh boy, check you out.
Somebody had to learn a lot.
You're writing about IPv6 ones, though.
Apparently, there's going to be IPv6 addresses shortly, because there already is 4 addresses available in this region. So you need a broker. You know, so it's fun stuff like that where you do some agency work, and then there's, you know, in-house plugin WordPress stuff, and it's just great. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of tasks, and of course, I get to do the social media, and you know, be on Twitter, read about everybody, and say, hey, what's happening? Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm Jason. I work over at a nonprofit, a church. I have not started using Give yet on one of our nonprofits, but we are about to, because we're starting to see some limitations in our existing setup. And I run the IT department there. I take care of all the stuff there. I'm the director of IT. I also take care of all of our website stuff. I'll put some links in the notes and stuff so you can go check out all of those things. I blog over at jasontucker.us, and I also blog over at wpmedia.pro, which is where I do all of my stuff regarding WordPress type things. I also host a show on the WPwatercooler network called Wpwatercooler. It's the kind of the flagship show. So go check that out. We do those Mondays at, let's see here, that'd be 11 o'clock Pacific. So in the morning.
Uh-oh.
So
Is
go
it me
check
or is
that
it
out.
you?
I'd appreciate it. Never.
Somebody
What's
froze.
Me?
I turned my Wi-Fi off this week, so I should be good.
Oh, no, I shouldn't be freezing up. I should be
It
okay.
might be my computer overheating.
Okay. All right. Well, so here's the deal. So if you're watching, oh, they're saying I did freeze. Oh, darn.
Well, at least it wasn't me this week. Blab is so unpredictable.
Yeah. Okay, cool. They're saying I'm good. All right, so here's the deal. So if you've never done Blab before, or if you're totally new to Blab and wanting to understand how this thing works, what you do is you go over to the right-hand side of the screen, you go to the very bottom, it says send a message, type in the slash, which is the slash that's over on the edge there, you can see it. If you want to be lazy, you can click on it and then click on the Q, and you want to type in /Q, and then you want to type in your question. You'll ask a question about WordPress, we'll answer your question about WordPress, and that's how this works. So, Bridget, since when I say we, I'm saying the royal we, so it's actually me. I suck at telling people to ask us questions throughout the week, and so I haven't been doing. Oh my gosh, I am freaking out.
Cam twist again.
Oh, my camera.
Ah!
I just need to get a new camera.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
We need a GIF of that, or GIF.
That's hilarious. All right, so here's the deal. So I suck at it. I haven't been doing those, so we don't have any questions that people have asked out in the interwebs. But we do have a question that Linda Hillman asked. I'm not sure if she's in the room here. But Linda, if you're here and you want to ask us the question, I'll be more than happy to read it right here. But feel free to jump in the hot seat that's there. You just click in the middle, and you can ask your question. So here's what Linda's question is. Let's see here. I just did a website, but my blog posts are not showing up on my blog page. So it sounds like she has like a page that's set up that's just devoted to the blog, and the rest of it's just her normal website. Meaning that xxx.com/blog, where there should be a gallery of my posts, it's not there. I have like 7 posts, and they are not showing on the page. However, the blog post, oh, interesting. It has a little thing that pops up now. However, the blog post themselves are there, and they show up on my homepage. And when I click the page on the post, the recent post shows up on the sidebar, which is what I set it up to do, not on the blog page.
I'm thinking it's when you set it up, because when I had to learn how to do the blog landing page or whatever.
Right.
So in the general settings, there's that static.
Under reading.
What's the static where the posts? And you just need to set it to be the blog. And then it automatically populates that archive.
Yeah, I'll find the supporting notes regarding that. But it's under the general reading tab. And it's for thinking do static page, static homepage.
And then it'll say posts. And you can
so it's creating a static front page. So I'll drop this in here so she can go take a look at that at her convenience. But that, I mean, that's kind of the way to do it. It's nice because you can create another page if you want called, blog or articles or whatever it is. And that's going to be kind of like the starting place where everything's going to end up at. So Yeah, it's good stuff. Good
That's
stuff.
a legit question.
So if you have a question, it is totally. It totally is, because a lot of folks,
Took me like a
they don't know
year
that
to
you can do
figure that out.
Oh boy! And then you end up getting hired at a place that does it all
Yeah,
day
now
long.
we're arguing
all
about
day,
whether
every
it
day.
should be called a blog.
What?
Should it be called a blog?
Well, a
Because
blog is kind of
WordPress
a made
is
up
so
word.
much more than a blog. So there's
Totally.
with the really awesome
So what would you call it?
coders, I think there's they feel like there's a stigma with the word blog. This is what I'm sensing, that the word blog is a stigma that makes them feel like they're custom coded, advanced custom fields, blah 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 blah. CSS Ninja
Yeah, but
is somehow not as good if you put the articles that you write for content in a section called blog.
Huh?
You'll notice on givewp.com there is no blog.
Yeah, I dug around trying to find
There's
something.
Give Stories
WordPress
has a blog.
Has
yes.
a blog. So Give's thing is that you want to provide stories regarding your product.
There's
so
Give
that
Stories
makes sense.
and there's Give News, both of which are blog posts.
See, like Jason's News, no one cares about Jason's News. I mean, it's bad enough that people maybe care about Jason's blog, but Jason's News.
I just think it's because people are trained.
It's like I should just call it, if I'm going to get all technical, it should be like the chronological events that have occurred within Jason's lifetime.
Well, it's a log that you write on the web, and then it got shortened to blog, right? So who cares? The point is, people know that they could go to wordimpress.com/blog, and then those posts come up in reverse chronological order.
So that's a good question.
From a marketing standpoint,
let's say
what are people looking for? And I put it on my Facebook page, and I was asking people, where do you look for the most recent posts on a website? And they were like, why are you asking?
I wouldn't go to Microsoft.com. I wouldn't go to Microsoft.com/blog. Like, I would not do that. I wouldn't go to Apple.com/blog. It'd be press release or slash, I don't know, something like that, news or whatever. But if it's my cat blog and you're trying to figure out how my cats are doing, then you're going to go look at the blog. You're not going to look at the
There
news.
is a whole world between Microsoft and cat blogging. It's called business. So
it's true, but I don't know. Like, for instance, at the church I work at, we use the term announcements because it's a word that makes sense
and that
for churchy folks.
That.
Right. So they go and look for announcements. Now, announcements are not and this is where like that whole kind of naming convention type thing goes for churches. Churches try really hard to not be church-y. Like, they don't want to make it like you walk in, you're just like, oh, you just like get hit by church, and you're like, oh, and everybody's using the exact language jargon and stuff. So people are always trying to like change up that, that jargon. So it's like, for the news, that's happening, there's the announcements. That's the announcements, and then sermons is the sermons that are spoken, that we use that terminology. But then there's other places where we don't. It's stories and it's this and that. But yeah, it's just funny because you're right. There's definitely different ways that companies, businesses, entities use and how they should kind of use their language to do it. Now, I think the thing is if you do that, you should do a redirect from /blog to go to whatever it is that you're calling your thing. So if you're calling it stories, then there should be a redirect that goes
for
to
sure, that. Your blog shouldn't be a speakeasy. Okay? It should not be difficult to find on your website, no matter what, right? So whatever, the whole reason why you're content marketing is so that people will read it, find it, read it. So I guess if they're searching in, why am I starting a cat blog, and then they find your post, they don't need to find your blog, your actual website first. So that could be a legit reason. But if but like a lot of us will say, oh yeah, I'm Bridget from wordimpress.com. go read our blog posts.
Yeah.
So then if you're looking around, you want to be able to find it, you know? Whereas like something like my website, bridgetwheeler.com, is basically only a blog with a couple of pages. So I think it's different when it's a business. If they're expecting that content and you're not giving them the exact link, it shouldn't be super hard for them to find it.
Right.
So I don't know.
Agreed.
But then the stigma, I feel like there's a lot of developers who really, I'm getting this flavor that they just stop calling WordPress a blogging platform, but it is. And I mean, that's how some of us came here.
It's one of those things that you can do.
It's not only that. Oh my gosh.
I'm freaking out again. I'm freaking out again. Stop calling it a blog.
Man, we need another question so I can stop lecturing everybody about blogging.
It's true. All right, here we go. What's the best supplemental language to learn after HTML and CSS, PHP, or Java, or XXX to build on your WordPress skills? So don't learn Java, but you can learn JavaScript.
Yeah, there you go.
Learning Java is not going to help you at all. But definitely learn JavaScript. Learning PHP, you should definitely continue to learn PHP. PHP is kind of the foundation of WordPress. It's the things that are that's the engine, the blood, the all the stuff that makes the WordPress work. It's all written in PHP. So definitely go with that. But yeah, learn JavaScript. I mean, Matt Mullen hops on stage and says, learn JavaScript. I think you should probably learn JavaScript if you're going to be doing WordPress stuff. That's what I think. What about you, Bridget?
Well, I don't know any of those languages.
Should you learn COBOL, or should you learn Ada, or should you learn what is it?
But I know people are talking about JavaScript, and that you should learn a framework. I mean, there was a whole big debate about it last week. I think we talked a lot about it, and then Josh Pollock wrote on the Torque magazine, that do you really need to know it deep? I mean, apparently WordPress is built on Backbone, but some people like React or Angular better. So I think if JavaScript is more about the user experience and they're asking you and they're pushing it, but not really saying why, then I would think, especially with Calypso being an app, there might be more front-facing things that are going to make the WP admin a little more user-friendly and up-to-date. Because I know getting your client to be on to import contact information or content, post site launch could be kind of a tricky situation. I think people are afraid of the dashboard.
I agree. But I think that's where where Calypso comes in. This idea of being able to use an another application to tie into WordPress. I'm a little hesitant in dropping that on somebody's computer and saying, "Hey, this is how you're going to blog now," because that's not how my users are going to blog.
Yeah.
Greg, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we're coming out of your security camera again.
Yes. Yes, I'm that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I remember. Come on, Greg, I remember.
I thought it was like a Tron background or something really cool because of the green.
We're waiting for the light cycle to go by.
I am that guy. And one of these days I'm going to figure, I know if I switch over to one of the Macs or any of the other Macs, I can do that. But this one has multiple cameras, so
no problem.
You can hopefully see palm trees waving if it was daytime there, because I'm down in Florida, but it's the darkness of night now, so stars going by is that. But I just really, I guess, wanted to see what the next level is, because I'm starting to get into a solid Genesis space and everything like that, where I'm looking into hooks and everything like that, and I see all that's built on PHP code, and they make it a lot easier with dynamic or some of those kind of builders on the back end to visualize what you're doing with building the PHP code and wrapping the code. And I'm kind of getting that concept down and learning some of that. but I didn't know whether I was kind of stuck in the mud, because I hear people start to talk all about other kind of the languages that are coming out there, and some of the scripting besides the JavaScript and everything like that, the new languages that are starting up. And I'm like, do I need to catch up, or, because I really just want to customize the site and work outside the box kind of thing when I can, where I'm comfortable and experiment with some of this stuff, but not necessarily redesign, the whole, I don't need to redesign a theme that much or anything like that. I just want to be able to customize so somebody can look at it and go, wow, how do you do that? So.
Well, I really, in the chat here, Jacob was saying about, what are your goals in doing stuff with WordPress? It's kind of like the way I've described this to my daughter regarding math. You don't want to just pick up the calculator and start using the calculator, because at some point the calculator is not going to know what you're doing, because if you have order of operations you have to deal with, which, right. All these types of things. If you don't know how to do that stuff and you're just throwing it into the calculator, you're not smart about how to do this stuff. And so, when it comes to like WordPress stuff, my friend Say Reed always says to learn like the canonical thing first, learn WordPress first, and learn how to use WordPress before you start adding on additional things. Where you're at this point, you've added on Genesis, and then you're also adding on Dynamic, which, those two pieces, it's great that you're learning those things. But I think at some point, and this is kind of to speak on her point with this, is that you end up learning those things more than you end up learning WordPress itself. And so at some point, if these things that you're using, which I don't think Genesis is, but that at some point here, maybe those things are a fad, and maybe those things have, they get swapped out for something else. And now the only thing that is just these tools that run on top of WordPress. So not to say that you're going about it the wrong way, because I went and did Genesis and I love Genesis. I think it was great. But I also started wanting to learn other things too, like for instance, using Beaver Builder. I've looked at Dynamic. I've looked at Visual Composer. I've looked at a whole bunch of different things. I'm not a designer, but I'm a developer, and I want to be able to have a little bit more of a designer piece tied onto my development, so I don't have to go and farm out a bunch of stuff to developers to figure out things that I could just do myself for basic stuff. So I guess long story short, it's like, what are your plans, and what are you really wanting to do with WordPress? And then maybe I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think it was, I guess, some of the things that I did Visual Composer for a site or two, and I liked it because it was convenient, but I got scared because every time I turn around, they're doing updates and everything like that, and changing the site. And I did some work where they've changed sites to Visual Composer, and I didn't want to go back and redesign the site and set them back up again or anything like that. So I went back to the Genesis. I do run Dynamic and Beaver Builder, and I'm content with both of those. They work hand in hand real well. It gives me some customizing, where the Beaver Builder gives me the ease of floating things in there. And when I seen some of the Visual Composer stuff, some of those tweaks and everything like that aren't available in the Beaver Builder or the Dynamic components. And I thought, well, maybe what do I need to do to bring one of those in if I ever get excited where I want to bring some of that in. And I know PHP is really the foundation of WordPress, and I like that. It seems like an easy enough language to learn, where JavaScript is something I see bannered around that I should learn and everything like that, and I didn't know whether JavaScript is really going to give me those kind of key elements that maybe I want to build and make some kind of traction on the page using that. I might not use it because I could probably, I hate to say, get a plugin to do some of that stuff, because I don't like to crowd the page up with plugins or JavaScript at the bottom of the page either.
So, it's funny you say that, because, Beaver Builder, JavaScript heavy, dynamic, JavaScript heavy. All these things are JavaScript. They all run JavaScript on top of your WordPress installation. So, and other things too. I mean, you have, the themes that are behind them if you're using a theme that's specific to it or any of that sort of stuff. But at some point, I mean, you end up knowing more about the tools that bolt on to WordPress than you know about WordPress. But what's good about that, and this is something that's helped me out, is that, I'll get a client who gives me a site and says, I need this fixed. I just get somebody calls me up and says, hey, my site's messed up. I don't know how to add this thing. Can you just change my phone number? My phone number changed or whatever it is. I don't want to spend 2 hours figuring out how to change the phone number in the interface because, they hit it in some widget or some crazy, 100 page long, options page or something like a Veda or whatever, and you're trying to figure out what is going on with this thing. So I think it's good to know these things because it makes you a well-rounded WordPress implementer. But to become more of a WordPress developer, you're going to need to know PHP and you're going to need to know some JavaScript, even just a little bit of it. Learn some CSS. CSS is, you probably already know some CSS, but learn a little bit more CSS. But really, Jacob always says Sass, or you learn how to use Sass.
Sass is a language?
For the most part, yeah. So Sass and PHP, he says sure, exactly. Yeah,
well, when I hear Sass, I think service, software as a service.
Oh, no. So Sass is the way in which you can build CSS that can be, lack of a better term, rendered out to CSS. So you can do a bunch of stuff to kind of build not dynamic, but just build the CSS faster. Yeah, like a preprocessor, which doesn't really make any sense either. It's the idea of being able to build your CSS in a way that is easier for you to build, and then, okay, that's interesting. Good job, dude. So there's those sorts of things. So I don't know. I say learn some PHP, build a site, and I always tell people this: build little projects. Don't get stuck in the one project that you're working in. If you only run a one website thing and that's it, build another website. Build a cat blog for a cat that you don't even have, and have something set up that you can mess around with. So that way you have a testing ground to play around in. That's a live site that people can interact with and whatever, which is why a lot of developers use their WordPress site, their personal one, is kind of this dumping ground where you buy a theme, you throw it in there, you buy a plugin, you throw it in there. And after a while, you end up with 500 themes and 300 plugins, and they're all half turned on or whatever, and you get to at least test it to see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit WordPress Miami this weekend.
Yeah, cool. That one's awesome.
Coming up, and I love that. I'm gonna hit the 3 days. I'm gonna do the freelance, and then right into the conference there. And I love them. I hit mostly all of them in Florida. I'd love to see them incorporate some of the. I'd love to see Beaver Builder, Dynamic, those guys show up at, and they don't traditionally. I'd like those supplementary pieces to hit the WordCamps. Even a Photoshop, I'd love to, a little bit more in Photoshop, like a crash course on Photoshop. But I know the freelance pieces are coming in there, and that's good stuff.
Are you going to the Learn JavaScript Deeply track?
No, I decide. I'm trying to look into the business.
Miami has a lot of tracks.
Yeah, and I'm really looking
a lot.
I'm going to hit everything that I can there. What I'm trying to do is convince my wife basically that I can walk away from this and start making money to pay for the health benefits that I would walk away from, kind of thing. So, and I want to get. I'm close. I'm really close. I'm on that edge where it's the hobby's turning into a business. So I just want to make sure I'm kind of on the right path, and between listening to you guys and getting some feedback from everybody on which direction, which path to take, so I don't fall into a whole studying a language, wasting a whole semester basically trying to pick up a language that I'm not going to use and maybe focus on something fundamental. So good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Have fun at Miami.
Yeah, it's fun. I went to WordCamp Miami a couple years back and had a blast. We did WPwatercooler live there.
Oh, fun.
We just had a fun time. It was really cool to have, all the people together, all learning about the stuff, and then having lunch and then talking about it during lunch and doing a water cooler from it. So
yeah, Matt and Devin are going and Devin's speaking. So
nice.
I will not be there. I will be a guest on WP Tonic.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Actually, our friend Jonathan Denwood asked me to come on WP Tonic to talk about graphics in WordPress by non-graphic artists.
Ooh.
Yeah, he liked the image inject plugin review.
That's awesome.
I'm going to drop
cool.
you guys on this side. I'll be sitting on the side listening to you.
Okay,
Awesome.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep. Good seeing your patio.
That's a really good question, though.
It is a really good question. It's difficult because it depends on what you're doing. If all you're doing is, straight up implementation,
Mm-hmm.
you're just taking WordPress, installing it, taking people's content, slapping it on there, throwing a header on there, hitting save, and that's it. Yep, I get it. Go for it. But if you're starting to really get into things, then yeah, you should probably learn more about the product that you're using. That's, it's kind of the core piece.
And it makes sense. I mean, if you're doing client work, they only want what they need. It's not,
right.
You don't have to build a JavaScript app for them using the REST API, then you don't need to do it. You just, they don't need it. You don't need it. Did I lose Jason Tucker again?
No,
there you are.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm typing up with the next question, putting it into the
good job.
Into the topic. Yeah, I'm trying to do my part here. You're answering all the questions and everything. I might as well. So Scott asks, what is the best way to learn WordPress? The best way to learn WordPress is the way I always have learned things, and that's by doing. Install it, mess with it, break it, change it, flip it, do all the things you can do with it. And like I was telling Greg earlier, don't just do one website. Do a couple websites. Come on, domain names don't cost anything. Just buy a domain name, slap your stuff on there, and build your Pokemon website or whatever it is that you're going to do, and write about that stuff. It could sit there dormant and die. It's no big deal, but at least you can sit there and learn how to use that site. Mm-hmm. If you at some point think that you're going to do e-commerce sites, make a fake, e-commerce site. I'm looking in the chat here. They're talking about don't even buy a domain name. It's true. You could do local development stuff and whatever else as well. But what I think is nice about having an actual site that you can play with is that I could go to Bridget and say, Bridget, what do you think of this site? We could even have a discussion about it and hop on there and look at it.
Blog.
And you can explain me. Yeah, we're /blog. Where to go? So that's the way I would suggest learning WordPress is it depends on what you're trying to learn. Mm-hmm. If you're a developer, then learn WordPress from the inside out. Learn how this thing works and why it connects to the database and how it connects to the database and what things is it actually getting and all that sort of stuff. If you're just a designer learning WordPress, figure out how the designer the design piece works. Rip apart a theme and figure out all the components that are tied into it. If you're just writing the content for the cat blog, then learn how to write stuff and learn how to put images in line and wrapping text and all the stuff that I'm gonna date myself here, but like the desktop publishing piece of WordPress. How do you make the text wrap around your images and that sort of stuff? So learn those things, and there's tons of great places to learn this stuff. So I know the next question is going to be where's the best place to learn it?
Wpbeginner.
Yeah.
Bob WP has a lot of tutorials.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people have a lot of content out there.
Oh, yeah.
And you're right, there's so many different layers. I mean, go to a WordCamp, go to a WordPress meetup, expose yourself. That's how I learned it, just going to WordCamps.
Yeah.
And then doing, right? And the more that I do,
yep,
the more I learn. I wouldn't have even known about plugins except Matt wanted me to write about them, you
You're
know.
like, oh, okay.
So then
I'll
I
do that. Why not?
experiment on my side, just like you said. It's not a cat blog, but still, you know, it's my site, so I don't care if it breaks.
Right.
It's mine. You know, it's not that big of a deal. It feels less intimidating than like a client work
Right.
or something
And
like that.
that's where you become the client when you're building these kind of fake websites, because, or even if somebody's a friend of yours that just is starting out and they're like, I need a site built. Like, you know what? I'll do it for free for you. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I need something to work on. And then just sit there and work on it. And you don't have to make it live. Just get to the point where it's working well, and then turn it on and be like, okay, here's your website. Have at it.
Yeah. Jacob from the chat is recommending Zach Gordon's Treehouse.
Yeah.
And Dave is recommending WP101 for videos.
WP101 is great.
Mm. So I guess that WordPress, what is WordPress to you? And when you answer that question, which sounds super philosophical,
it's true.
but it is. I mean, because I don't give a crap about PHP.
Right.
I just want to fill in the boxes.
Yep.
And I want things to look nice, and I want to know which plugins are the best to do what I want, you know, to happen. So it's a different goal.
So if you have any other more questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them. If I don't want any softballs, I don't want people throwing me these like ridiculous questions I got to go look things up for when you're the one that wrote the book on it. So don't do that to me, because that's not fun.
Did that happen?
We've had that happen a few times where I'm just like, okay.
As a segue to somebody else's product.
Right, exactly.
This episode is brought to you by Beaver Builder. Beaver Builder is a plugin that lets you
You know what? If Beaver Builder wants to throw some money at us, fine. Why not? Because at this point, the only people that are throwing any money at us is Wix, and that's on
I know.
I don't know, I might as well just talk about it here, but I got a message from somebody asking me, I think it was a comment on one of the YouTube videos, like, why is all of the ads Wix?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's because Wix has a budget, and they want to advertise their product using the competitors' keywords. And so they bought the keyword WordPress, and they did it. This is why we haven't seen a WordPress.com or WordPress.org ad on the Super Bowl. Hasn't happened yet. Maybe we'll get a Danica Patrick type car driving around circles. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet.
W.
Yeah, like something like that hasn't happened yet. So until that happens, it's going to be, everybody's going to want to do Weebly and Wix and Squarespace and all those things that you hear in all these different podcasts that you listen to, because they just don't want to spend any money on that type of advertising. So
the bigger agencies need to do that.
Well, maybe they don't.
If I were them.
What's that?
Pre-roll ads.
Oh, yeah.
If I was a WordPress agency.
Oh, yeah.
I would totally be doing 15-second pre-roll ads and advertising them specifically on the WP Watercooler.
But I just think it's funny that people think that they've come to me and said, Jason, here's the deal. I know you talk about WordPress, but we're the competing product. We want to run an ad on your show. And it's like, no, I have no control over that. It's all YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube does all of it.
That's another thing I learned.
Yeah, it's all YouTube.
It's called programmatic buying.
It is. Like, give me all the YouTubes that are all the whatnots. Go. And then they just buy them all. And then you end up with, a bunch of websites that are, a photographer's site that's on WordPress.com. Like, have you ever looked for something that's WordPress related that's not programming? Like, you end up with the craziest websites because all of these people have, blah, blah, blah.wordpress.com. And there's just a zillion of them.
And the domain name.
Or, Instagram just recently made it so you can have multiple accounts on Instagram.
Thank God.
So WPwatercooler now has its own Instagram account. So make sure you go follow it.
Oh, okay.
But what's funny is I went and did a search on WordPress on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll just type in WordPress. So I go and do that. And it's like everybody's WordPress.com site. Their name on Instagram is their WordPress.com site.
Why? Why would it be that?
So it'd be like BridgetWillard.wordpress.com. That would be the name of their Instagram account, because that's what they know themselves by. That's what they want everybody to go to their website about. So it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
So good luck trying to find anything on Instagram that's WordPress related, because you'll either find a bunch of screenshots of people's like screens, like here's the code I'm working on, or it's going to be WPwatercooler.
That's interesting because I'm seeing that WordPressers heavily use Instagram.
Yeah, but they don't ever tag anything with WordPress at all. Like zero. Like I'm telling you,
I feel like the WordPress developers need to get better at marketing.
The best thing that WordPress ever did is hired somebody who knew what the heck they were doing with social media. Really, that was like that was the best thing that they did.
That I feel like that's a really yeah. And here's the thing. I know that developers skew introverted. And right. I am a huge I'm such a shy person. Yeah. And so anyway, I feel like it's even easier to be social in social media than it is in person. So I figured that people would be, I don't know, maybe they just feel like they shouldn't be talking about their own stuff. That's how you put bread on the table. I don't really get it.
If you go look at the hashtag for WordPress on Instagram, there's only 4 technical type posts, and one of them
275,000.
Right, but look, there's like a lady selling stuff. She's doing yoga. There's a cute kids copy and pasting. There's some lady walking. There's some lunch. There's a web agency.
What the heck? Oh my gosh!
It's like an
None
agency.
of this has anything to do with anything.
Do you want to build a better booty? Follow.
That has nothing to do.
That has nothing to do with WordPress. But if you go look at it, their name is either WordPress or they tagged it in there because the automation tool that they're using spits that out.
That and the rap people, I swear to God.
Right.
If I have to see somebody's ugly belly one more time, I'm out. I don't give a crap if it works or not. It's gross. Oh my God.
So if you didn't know about Instagram doing the multiple accounts thing, they do multiple accounts now. And in previous episodes we have talked about how to import content from WordPress or from Instagram into WordPress. Mm-hmm. So definitely go take a look at those on WPwatercooler site. You can just do a search in the search and you'll find stuff regarding Instagram.
Or you can wait until my review of Instagram feed comes out probably next month at WordPress.com.
Dun, dun, dun. That's awesome.
That's called a teaser.
It is a teaser.
I know that Aaron Hockley likes Instagrate.
Yeah.
But I tried it and I wasn't that impressed. At least with the free version.
Oh. Well. It's understandable. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
I don't know. It's like when you go to Chinese food.
Yeah.
And you keep driving by the place and you're like, I don't know. Have we gone to Shanghai Charlie's? I think we went there once. Do you remember it? No, I don't know. Well, if you don't remember it, it's
right.
not good.
True.
That's all I had to say. Because you're not like, oh man, orange chicken for Panda. Let's go. See ya. But Shanghai Charlie's, I don't know. Was it good? Do you remember? I don't know. Do you remember?
True.
You're having this conversation. You definitely don't want your plugin to go the way of Shanghai Charlie's. Oh, that would be a good blog post. I'm going to write that down right now.
Oh boy. Oh man. Yeah, I mean I've looked at a few different plugins to do this. At some point I'll probably end up doing something that's very, WordPress.com or WordPress.com. That's very WPwatercooler centric, that's just for it on the site. I was using a thing called, if I remember correctly, it's DesignWorks. They miss all the vowels. But that was one of the tools or one of the plugins I was using. It's an importer. It kept breaking on me, so I stopped using it. But it was one of the nicer ones because it did hashtags and did a whole bunch of kind of cool stuff, putting stuff into custom post types and whatever. So
yeah, good
stuff.
Nice. What I like about Instagram feed, and I use it on BridgetWiller.com, and then there's kind of a temporary landing page there, bridgetwiller.com/Instagram-feed, that you can, it lets you use short codes. So you can look up the Instagram user's name and then find their ID. And then you can use short codes. You could put, like, I have a short code of mine in the sidebar widget, and it just has like little, like, like 3x5 or something images, and you could click on it and then see the picture. Or you can put short codes like, these are my favorite Instagram people. I think it would be a really good way to make listicles like better, or your About Us page. Like, so on Watercooler, you could go Jason Tucker, blah, 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 Instagram feed. Chris Lemma, blah, 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 Instagram feed. Steve Zanget, blah, 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 Instagram. Because it enriches the, it enriches the bio. So you could have a little blurb of who they are, I really like the short codes. I see why people like short codes now.
Oh yeah. The problem is remembering which short codes you have installed and and going with that. That's always a tricky one.
Oh.
Yeah, if you go to my page, I put in the link
code for you though. It just gives you this chart and you have to figure it out yourself. It's kind of a DIY. Like in the Christmas story where they listen every day for the code.
Right.
And then they finally got the little Orphan Annie decoder ring. Drink Ovaltine. It felt a little bit like that to me, not being a coder.
Right.
And I finally figured it out, and then I just copied it, and you can use the different. Once you figure out what you want it to look like, then you can just keep copying it for your other Instagram IDs. It's very cool.
Yeah.
There you go. List available short codes.
Yeah, I remember there was one that did something like that. It was what was it? It was WP Debug bar had a thing that was freaking out again. Dude.
The revenge of the cam twist.
Yeah. Yeah, dumb cam twist.
We need horror film stingers.
He's like,
don't climb up those stairs.
Oh boy.
No, yeah. But I think that what you said was really important. Plugins are just like any kind of software, and they're built from a need.
Yep.
For example, Give was built because Devin and Matt were making a lot of websites for nonprofits, and even though WooCommerce could do a shopping cart, a nonprofit donation wasn't really a WooCommerce.
Right.
And that was actually why they made Quick Checkout. Quick Checkout was made to be so Quick Checkout's kind of almost like the grandpa of Give. So so the iterations came from the client work.
Okay.
So because there's a need, a good tool solves a need. So you don't know the need exists unless you're doing something where you're interacting with a client, right?
Right.
So they want X to happen. They don't give a crap how you do it. They just want it to happen, right? So then that's why people go, well, I really wish I could have Instagram on my thing. And then somebody goes and makes it happen. That's the beauty of WordPress.
Yeah.
It's because it's open source. Somebody will say, you know what, I really want this to do that. They throw their code up into GitHub. Somebody's like bored. They just hang out. They go, oh yeah, I totally get that. Here's a pull request. Blah, blah, blah. This could be super awesome. Then everybody just works on it together. It's an amazing thing, actually. That the collaboration.
Oh yeah.
There is a huge culture of collaboration. It's amazing.
Especially, or not especially, even if one of the parties, especially the one that made the thing, is making money off of it, people still want to contribute to the thing because they're like, you know what? I want this to be better because I paid for it. And my wife always laughs at me when I'll send an email to one of the developers that built something. I'm like, hey, I'm not sure if you've ever done this with your own, plugin or whatever, but I'm trying to use it for this. What do you think? And then, she's like, they're not going to reply back to you. Like that. Who cares? And then 10 minutes later, half an hour later, an hour later, I've never thought about that. Let me code it up and I'll let you know tomorrow. And I'll send you a beta code, or I'll send you a beta, whatever. And you can go check it out. And sure enough, I'll go and hit her up, tell my wife, like, hey, guess what? Mr. Developer guy, he thought that was a great idea. Just because I sent him an email saying, hey, I'd really love if this thing did this. And other times I've had it where they said, I'd love to do that, but to be perfectly honest, I hired somebody to build this plugin, and I wanted to just open source it and make it available for everybody. But I paid for somebody to do it. If you're interested in writing some code and putting, and contributing to this thing, I'd be more than happy to. The developer put it on GitHub or whatever. So feel free to go hop on there and take a look at it. I think that's great. Why not?
And it's a good way to learn. It just goes back to what kind of the theme seems to be today of learn by doing.
Yeah.
So the more that you do client work and the more that you interact with WordPress, the more you'll go, well, I really wish it would do whatever. And then you can find maybe somebody already did it. And then you're like, well, I wish it would do this better. So that's how it becomes a better
person.
Platform.
Yeah. Better developer, better designer, better WordPress worker bee.
Yeah.
So, every time we get on a show like this and we're talking and I start getting kind of inspired to do something, I'll go and fix something on my site or whatever. So I thought I was like, oh yeah, let me go fix my Instagram feed real quick here and get this all working. So it got stuck, and now it's downloading all of the stuff from Instagram. And then all of the various things that tell people to go check out my content are now blasting out to all those different social medias. And so I've literally flooded my mom. My mom is going to be looking through Instagrams for days on my Facebook.
This is when automation goes bad, little children.
Exactly.
This is the risk of if this, then that.
Yep. If I go and post things to my website, then I should probably blast everything. Yeah, it's going through stuff from quite a few months ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, it's pretty
what
awesome.
Bridget says, go native.
Back when I talked about my Diamond Rio 500 about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I posted some photos about that, and some really good stuff that's showing up here. I might just have to go and revisit all the things that I did in the last.
Jason, you're like, please, guys, don't unfollow me. I promise it won't happen again.
Oh
man, I love it.
And I'm not stressed over it. It's all right.
Facebook is like that anyway. With all the memories they have.
I wake up every morning.
I was eating a bagel 4 years ago.
And I took a picture of it. Good job, Jason.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Yeah, my all my social media stuff's blowing up. I'm getting all these notifications about the things that I'm posting. Pretty awesome. So, folks, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you don't have any questions, we might be closed up early. You never know.
Yeah. Or on time.
Exactly, because we're at the 1 hour and 4 minute mark at this point. No questions? That's fine too. No problem at all there. I don't have anything else to talk about. I've spent all day explaining WordPress stuff to people at work. I'm pretty good at being done with that at this point. Now I'm looking at your Instagram feed page, and I like the idea that you're pulling in other people's stuff and displaying it. That's cool.
It could be really good for a lot of reasons, but
yeah.
I was thinking about like an About Us page for sure, or like just enriching your listicle.
Yeah.
Instead of the top 100 influencers on whatever,
right,
with names.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could be more interesting, and then you could break it up into a series. You know, I don't know. I feel like it could. Instagram. Here's the thing with Instagram, and I'm not like, I'm trying to make myself post on Instagram more, you know, frequently,
Right.
and I try to be more arty or selfies, and I try to make it different than what's on Facebook, because I like my content to be similar but different, like the Barbara Mandrell sisters. All their dresses were totally different, but they were coordinated.
Makes sense.
Oh God, that I'm really dating myself. I used to love the Barbara Mandrell show. And all their outfits, you know, like they were all coordinated. Or maybe a more modern version would be like CSI Miami. Every scene has a color, and you could see that everybody's wearing that color. Yeah, it's really interesting. Anyway, so just practicing with hashtags, because I'm not really a hashtag junkie, and then I realized that you really find different people, and they're there. They're there, and they're not other places. So it's not necessarily everybody is posting on Facebook too. It's a different group of people, and for brands, they're not getting the whole only 6% of Facebook pages or have their posts viewed.
Right.
Instagram has direct delivery.
Yeah.
Because people are following that eyelash company for a reason, and the rap people and Togos and whoever else, you know. Almost every restaurant has Instagram. I mean, it's pretty amazing, actually, how many businesses are on Instagram and how many people follow Instagram.
Right.
On Instagram.
Right.
So it could be a really great way to show company culture and the kind of the behind the scenes that makes you awesome. Like the one you just posted of the behind the scenes of WP Blab on Watercooler. That's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like people are kind of interested. They like that. They like that kind of, like Periscope is really interesting how people are using it. The other day I saw somebody just talking about how her dad had died. It was almost like a journal, but she was interacting with us, and it felt weird, huh? It felt weird at first. It felt like, oh no, I should leave the room, like. But then she's like, "Hey, Bridget, I'm so glad you're here. Let me just catch you up." Da, 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 da.
Wow.
Wow. Like, so there are a lot of different kinds of demographics of people that maybe, you could reach. It's more of a long game reach. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, link in my bio," but nobody gives a crap about that.
True.
They just want to see something. What the good part about Instagram that I have liked is it's not your aunt. It's not a bunch of politics.
Right.
It's not it's just pictures. It's not somebody ranting about their boyfriend dumping them or something. You got those people on Facebook that just they can't hang, they can't hang with their life. And you feel bad, but then it's like an accident. And then you're like, how horrible of a person do I want to be? Do I just want to pass this one by? Or do you want to put a sad face? Or you want to like it? And you feel like you're at the moral crossroads every time.
Well, it seems like everybody wants all of this. Hell now. True. It seems like everybody wants all their things to connect to one another. So they're wanting to make sure that their Facebook stuff shows up on their Twitter, and their Twitter shows up on their Facebook, and their Tumblr shows up on the Twitter, and all this stuff. But like I was in a meeting today at work, and we were talking about how we can really, because we want to focus on one social media platform to really learn it, not because we're going to focus on it because we want to just dominate that entire thing. But we really want to learn it and really want to learn like how people are interacting with it. So, we wanted, I was telling them, I was like, well, if you want, you could just post stuff that has nothing to do with any of the content that we have on our website, and just do just very unique content just for that. And that's it. And then I've had somebody else tell us, well, why don't we just like take the things that we're doing on the website and turn them into images and display them onto the I'm like, but you don't get clicks out of that. There's no clicking involved in this. So the goal isn't to get somebody to go right. Now it can be. I mean, I've seen people make tons of money on this stuff by, advertising, products and have their kids dressed up in clothes and getting money off of that sort of thing. But that has nothing to do with WordPress in this. It's more about like how to get this stuff to, to get people to look at your stuff and see what the things that you're into.
And the good thing is, like, especially with a big group of people, it's easy to get user-generated content that way.
Mm-hmm.
You could pull in by a hashtag, which I know Instagram Pro will do. So if, for example, your church had a certain hashtag, and then
plenty of them,
you guys decided to be using, you decided to announce that y'all are using Instagram,
right?
That's probably what I would recommend if you're asking me. But I give unsolicited advice, so I'm giving that unsolicited.
Will I hold up in court if it's unsolicited advice?
Well, I mean, I just feel like more people are using it. Even the 20-somethings are using it. But anyway, it will pull. You could say, "Hey, while you're out doing blah 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 in the community, tag your pictures with the certain hashtag,
right?"
And then it could automatically just populate your.
I mean, I like
WordPress.
Yeah, like I like owning my own content. Like I want to.
You want it in a media library?
Yeah, heck yeah, I do. Why not? Because I can use it. I can use it later for stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if it automatically pulls it in. Like when Foo Gallery, Foo Video pulls in your YouTube, it pulls in the screenshots in the media library. So I don't know if Instagram does something like that, where if it's just like an API driven thing.
It does. Connect your account and access your complete Instagram image history. Post your image and save them to media library. Own your images forever.
That's the one Aaron Hockley recommended in his WordCamp Orange County talk last year.
Nice.
It's great. Mm-hmm. But I think the Pro has more features.
You're saying that you don't like it?
Well, I didn't like the free one.
Oh, the free one. Okay.
I mean, I like the idea of pulling in something by a hashtag, but at the time I didn't have a reason to justify the cost. But I could see how a group of people or several users using the same, or like a WordCamp website.
Oh my
pulling
gosh.
in everything with the hashtag, because a lot of people post.
That would be nuts.
A lot of people don't tweet during WordCamp. They post pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I really saw it during WordCamp US.
Oh, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
So
that makes me sad when I don't go to those, and then I see them on Instagram, and I'm like, I didn't get to go. You got to go. Talks. You got to go by the internet.
Well, I mean, it just depends on how much fear of missing out you have. We have 3. We live in WordCamp land.
Right.
This is what I've realized. I'm like, just go to WordCamp. There's one every weekend. You know?
It's like Starbucks. We have them on every corner. Yeah,
we're pretty lucky for that. And then Vegas is 4 hours away or something.
Right. Which is one I really want to go to.
I think it's in September.
Yeah, I kind of want to go out to that one.
Well, if you can't go to a WordCamp, you can go to WP Lab. And it's every Thursday at 7:30 Pacific.
It's like going to the to what they call the hallway track. Where
this is the hallway track.
This is totally the hallway track.
And sometimes we have open seaters who tell us stuff. Interesting stuff.
Like you could jump in right now and you could say, "Oh, it'd be great if I blah blah blah," and we could sit here and have a conversation about it.
We're pretty liberal about the open seat, huh?
Yeah, we kind of are. I've seen other places on Blab where they're like, "Don't touch that. Don't touch it.
We're locking it down, people."
Because they're trying to make it sound like it's like super important. Maybe if I lock it, they're like, "Okay, we've locked it. No one can get in now. That's it." Let's see what happens. Yeah.
I don't know. I think people maybe don't want to be rude. We might want to be more. Maybe we should be more proactive.
Lock it instantly. Look, you guys are not good enough for this open seat. That's it.
Oh my gosh. If I'm good enough to be the co-host, you're good enough for the open seat.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, we all learn from each other. That's the
True.
thing. That's the whole point of this.
Yep.
This whole episode has been about we learn by talking to each other. That's why a lot of people recommend the hallway track.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I like about WordCamp, because a lot of times if you go to an event, the speakers are hanging out in the green room. They're not accessible.
Right.
But in WordCamp, the culture of WordPress is very generous.
Yeah.
So they enjoy teaching you.
Mm.
You know, I'm sure there's not, a big queue of people wanting to pick so-and-so's brain might be annoying, but, mostly I see people just wanting to talk. I had a really great conversation with Mike Hansen from Bluehost last year at Orange County with my girlfriend Carol, and he came up in the hall and he's like, "Hey, thanks for all the tweets." And he gave me a little Lego flash drive, and I go, "I really liked your talk on Google Analytics, Mike. I kind of wish you would blog more, because there's so much depth you can learn from Google Analytics." He's like, "Oh yeah, maybe I should." And da 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 da. And then we started talking. Just to totally segue this back to Instagram, which is like, this is the Instagram episode. He said, because I had the problem at the time of documenting a project in Irvine, a construction project, and Irvine won't let you use a sign. Did you know that? You
Like
can't use a sign that says,
the...
"This is being built by Riggins Construction."
Oh.
So while we were talking about Google Analytics and converting and all of that stuff, we ended up having this really great idea of using the address as a hashtag.
Whoa.
So I did. And then that way you could see all the progress photos, and all I had to do is send a link. And right about that time,
but you've seen some of the names in Irvine, right? Like it could be like this long.
Yeah, but it was Fitch. It was 17752 Fitch.
Oh, yeah.
So it's easy, right? And then I saved all my hashtags for that job in a note folder, so I just could post it really easy. But I mean, here you are in a WordCamp. Somebody just thank you for tweeting. You go from Google Analytics, him writing more on his blog, him inspiring me to use a hashtag to post construction photos. Yep. And that happened within, 20 minutes. That doesn't happen anywhere else. But for you, our viewers at home, live and on YouTube, you can join in on the hallway track. We're going to call this Hallway Blab. It's true. It is the best. And we've had some pretty amazing open seaters too. So
yeah, we have. We've had some great people hop on and go, "Oh yeah, no problem. I'm more than happy to talk about whatever it is."
Yeah. In fact, before I forget, Tuesday, the 16th of February, WordCamp San Diego tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Oh boy.
I almost forgot.
Oh boy.
Yeah. $40.
$40.
It's going to be great. It's going to be in Point Loma this year. They moved it from the Hall of Champions.
Oh.
There's some scheduling issue. It's April 23 and 24 in San Diego and Point Loma. And the tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. The hashtag is WCSD. Even if you see other stuff there, that's the official hashtag, not with the year on it or anything like that. It should be really good.
Nice. Go make waves.
Go make waves, yes. And Orange County is July 9 and 10.
Oh, really? I didn't even know they announced that yet.
Well, I've been looking at WordCamp Central. Because the guys go to a lot of WordCamps, and we got to make sure everybody's going to, what dates are people are going to be gone, I am not speaking. I'm doing the social media for San Diego, and I have really nothing to talk about except for Twitter. So
she's going to talk about learning JavaScript deeply.
Yeah, right.
How to use WordPress CLI.
I know, right? I wish I could. There's certain things that we were talking about SSL certificates and today at work, and Matt Cromwell was saying, "Oh, well, just there's a plugin, and you just are you kidding me right now? I can barely just get in the admin. That kind of." And he goes, "Well, there's a plugin that lets you do Let's Encrypt." I go, "Yeah, but then you have to do it. You have to go get the code from GitHub, and then update it every 3 months. Are you kidding me? Hello, do you know who you're talking to?" He goes, "You can do it."
He's like, just tell Siri. Siri will remember for you. It's no big deal.
I hope the trend does go because SiteGround. I don't know if you guys heard about this. The SiteGround is now allowing you to install Let's Encrypt, let'sencrypt.org, SSL certificates on your shared hosting for SiteGround.
Yep.
So, there's some debate about whether or not it's secure enough for credit card transactions. Matt Cromwell is saying not so much. But maybe the trend for hosts will be to make SSL the default, and they should. And I think that the really WordPress loving hosts like WP Engine and like Media Temple and those guys, maybe they should do Pagely and whoever. Maybe they should start doing that as a marketing tool. That is my recommendation to you. Offer SSL as a default to get your WordPress people, because everybody who's taking a credit card transaction needs it. With their Gravity forms and Stripe and integration for buying anything, easy digital downloads, Give, whatever it is, everybody needs it, and it gives you a boost on Google. So, what up, hosts?
Agreed.
Leveled up.
But I get what they're saying about the SSL certificates not being, as encrypted enough to be able to do credit card transactions. I get that.
Which is what you need it for.
Yeah, but there's also things where it's like, I just want to be at Starbucks and be able to log into their Wi-Fi and then log into my website and not have somebody, grab my password 123 password and then hack into my site. Like that right there is just, that's the beginning of it. But getting the entire site SSL secure is great because, you have, countries that are trying to look at the stuff and look at your traffic and seeing what's going on. At least you have those. I don't know how secure that is either. I mean, apparently SSLs aren't all created equal. There's different versions of them. There's ones that are for the entire domain. There's some that are just for your host name. We spend $500 a year just for our entire domain name to have an SSL certificate. And I have to buy 2 of those, one for our internal website and one for our external website.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's to cover every single host name. So blah, 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 ourdomain.com. The blah, blah, blah part, they call it a star certificate or a wildcard certificate. And it just covers all of the things that are on our servers, not just www and just a naked domain name. It's everything. It's
comprehensive.
Yeah.
Coverage.
So you spend a pretty penny doing it, but you kind of have to in order to make sure your stuff's secure.
What is that in comparison to your hosting cost? Just out of curiosity.
Oh yeah, well, hosting costs. We do WP Engine for our hosting. I think we pay $100 a month for that.
Okay.
But that's we have live stream happening on there.
Yeah,
we have a bunch of people that just go to the site to do stuff. So
it's a big site. For ours, it's $153 a year.
Yep.
For the hosting and $300 for the SSL. So it's like twice as much.
Right.
So probably I'm gonna leave and go to SiteGround.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do. I'm 95% sure that's what
I've had people call in and say, I don't even want to put my first name, last name, and email address on a form that's on your website because you don't have an SSL certificate on that page. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome that you even called me about this. That's great.
You're like, I'm so proud of you for caring about your personal data.
I wasn't worried about them like having that issue or whatever. I mean, I was just like, I was impressed that they called up and said like, why isn't your site more secure than it is? And I'm like, I thought it was pretty secure, but I didn't realize that you typing in like, you know, a search term needs to be SSL secured, you know? Because they wanted like their search terms like secured. When they type in a search and hit the go button, they want to make sure that was SSL. Yeah.
Incognito window.
Well, you'd still see it over the wire, you know, you'd still have no joke, I know.
I don't know, like I can't get that.
I mean, they're searching for a potluck, you know. You're just searching for a potluck. I'm like right in the middle somewhere. Like I don't check into Swarm at my house, right,
or my apartment.
Yeah, but
everywhere else, like I will.
Yep.
Like I just don't want you to know my exact address, but like clearly I'm in my house right now, streaming live. Like I don't know. I'm just not that paranoid. I feel like in order to have sanity, you have to give a certain level of trust.
It's true.
You know? Because otherwise you would go insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already neurotic enough, like every time I go in an elevator, I think I'm going to die. So, like, really, like that, I've already maxed out on my paranoias. The internet, whatever.
Now you have to worry about SSL certificates on your cat blog and making sure no one goes and steals any of your search terms about the various cats that are stored on there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, this is a different episode.
That was. It's funny how this stuff all works out. Sometimes we end up with nonstop, you know, back and forth with various folks on here, and other times it's just Bridget and I talking, and it's a good mix. I like it.
And yet you still keep coming back. And for that, we thank you.
Yay. And if you want to help us out, you can go over to the left-hand side of the screen, click on the tweet button and maybe even the post button so you can tell either the whole world or just your mom and dad that you watch the show. So make sure you go do that. I'd appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. Tweet it out.
Yeah, tweet
and
it.
And like go tell your Facebook groups to ask you questions you don't want to deal with.
Hit the record button. You have to do it. Look, I'm doing it right now. Look, see you. I'm going crazy. I don't know.
Good grief.
Oh, Cam Twist.
It's like it wants to focus on you and then it like flips out.
Cam Twist,
it needs a software update. Where's the WordPress plugin for that?
Let me just go install Let's Encrypt real quick. Go purchase the rerouting of the encryptions. All right, Bridget, how do folks find you? Where should they go?
Find me at bridgetwiller.com.
Awesome. Find me, jasontucker.us. Go check all the stuff out that I do there, photography, video stuff, blogging, all of that. So thank you, Bridget, for being on today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know you just walked in, you
I know, I'm
you
still
sat
dressed up
down.
for work.
You're like, you know, saying hi to the husband, walk right past him, sit down.
I did.
He's watching some debate or something, and you're just like, all right, let's knock this out.
I said, hi, Rasir, I love you. I have to go to Blab.
Enjoy yelling at the TV.
Oh man.
Oh good. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that wraps it up. So let's play the outro.
The outro.
We'll get out of here. I know I shouldn't be talking about all these things when we do it, but you know.
Oh, you need a plug-in, maybe a dev. We're solving all your WordPress blues on WP Blab.
Woo!
And if you're some type of content creator that does music, we would love to play your stuff during the pre-show of WP Blab. It won't actually get made on. It won't be on the recording of it, but you'll at least have it playing while we're sitting here for about half an hour trying to get all my stuff figured out before things start breaking. So, Bridget, thank you for being on. Everybody, thanks for stopping by and saying hello and asking questions and whatnot. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.